Today we're going to look at mini fruit cakes. So for the ingredients today, we're going to use margarine, which is going to provide us with some fat. We're going to use caster sugar, which is a finer sugar, and that's going to provide us with sugary carbohydrate. We're then going to use an egg, which will give us protein. And then we are going to use some flour, some self-raising flour, because it's got its own raising agent, and that will provide us with some starchy carbohydrate. And then we've got a selection of fruits. You will be allowed to choose one of the fruits in the classroom, and these will provide us with some sweetness, but they'll also provide us with some fibre. The first task is to switch on the oven. So always switch it on at the wall. We're going to come down at the front of the cooker. We're going to see that the spot is here, which indicates the main oven, and then we are going to turn it to 200 degrees centigrade because that's the temperature that we need. So the main oven is the large part of the oven there. It's really important to preheat the oven, and we'll know when it's preheated when this little light goes off. That makes sure we have an even temperature, and that means things will bake evenly. While the oven is preheating, we need to place our cup cases into the tray, and we will only need 6 because we will divide our mixture equally between 6 cases. The first task when making the mini fruit cakes is we're going to sieve the flour. Now we sieve the flour for 2 different reasons. We sieve the flour to get air in and to get any lumps out. Now remember we talked about this is self-raising flour, so it has its own raising agent which will help the cakes rise. Remember, if you've got any dirty dishes, they go straight behind the sink and out the way. The next task is to add in all the other ingredients. So we've got our margarine, we have got our sugar, and then we're going to add our egg. But we don't add our egg in straight away because we need to make sure that the egg is okay first of all. So to check our egg, we make sure we've got the line mark. That shows that it has been vaccinated against salmonella. We check the date and we check that there's no damage to the egg. When cracking the egg, we hold it in the palm of our hand, 1 hard sharp crack, and then we don't push our thumbs in. We literally pull it apart above the bowl and it pops straight into the bowl. We then check that there's no shell, give it a little whisk until it's all combined, and then we're going to add it into our mixture. So the next task is we're going to use a wooden spoon, and we are going to mix all these ingredients together until they're light and fluffy. So as we are mixing, we're going to beat some air in, which will also help with it as a raising agent. So we've got 3 forms of raising agent here. We have the self-raising flour, which helps it rise because it's got its own raising agent. We also have sieved the flour, so we've added some air in there and we've taken any lumps out. And then now we're going to beat some air in, and that will help our cakes rise. So what we're looking for here is we're mixing everything together until light and fluffy. Make sure you scrape it all from the sides of the bowl and from the bottom. And that's what your mixture should look like. Next, it's time to choose which fruit you would like. Today, I'm going to choose apricots. So I'm just going to place the apricots onto the green chopping board, and then I'm going to use a sharp knife and I'm going to use my claw grip, and I'm just going to line them all up. And I'm going to use my claw and I'm going to slice these into small pieces. Again, if you had cherries, you would quarter the cherries. I'll just show you how to do that. So that's our apricots. If it was cherries, you would use your bridge grip, you would cut down in half, and then you would cut down and you would make it into quarters. And that would be if you were using cherries. If it was just sultanas or raisins, you would just pop them in as they are. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to pop in our apricots. Now the apricots have been added, we need to make sure that we're going to combine them well. so that they're distributed throughout the mixture. And now it's time to get them into the cake cases. When dividing between the cake cases, take a spoonful on your dessert spoon or your tablespoon and then push off with the teaspoon. We should not be using our fingers at this time for health and safety reasons. So we're going to take one spoonful and then we're going to push it off with the teaspoon. Now these are going to go into an oven at 200 degrees centigrade and they're going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to cook. So now we've got 6 equal in here. We're just going to use the spatula and we're going to clean down the rest of the bowl so we can get the rest of the mixture out. And then we're going to divide this equally between them. So we're not wasting any mixture. There should be no mixture left in the bowl. And we want 6 equal cakes. And these are now going to be placed into the oven at 200 degrees centigrade for 15 to 20 minutes. We'll know they're ready. They will be well risen, they will be golden brown, and they will be springy to the touch. So if we press them, they will bounce back up. Always remember to use oven gloves when we're placing them in the oven, and make sure the tray goes in landscape, not portrait. Once the cakes come out of the oven, we need to check to see if they're ready. So we're looking to see they are golden brown, they are springy to the touch, and they are well risen. This indicates where cakes are ready. Just a little bit of food science to help you. Our cakes have turned golden brown, and that's because the starch in the flour has turned to dextrin, which gives it a golden brown colour. Also, the reason they are well risen is because we had a raising agent in our self-raising flour. We sieved the flour, which got air in, and when we mixed the mixture, we incorporated air also. And there are our fruit and more cakes.